doesn't die on me. Okay, I might go get my charger. Should I get my phone charger? Okay, I'm gonna get hi, Lacey. You are so encouraging and strong. Thank you. I feel that same way about you guys. You guys really, really inspire me. Okay, I know this. I shouldn't be doing this. I should have done this before I hopped on live, but I'm gonna get my phone charger so that I make sure that things stay alive around here. Okay, I'm gonna bring over my little charging dock. You guys know how I feel about a charging dock situation. And today we're gonna be talking about how should I know when to sell online and how should I know when to give value? Okay, so if you've ever asked that question, I've got a lot to say about it. Carola says to go get your charger. Thank you. You guys are very patient. I even have like a go live checklist I share with my clients. One of them is like, make sure your phone is charged. Obviously did not follow my checklist. Okay. Oh, come on, little thing. Come on. Okay. So I've got 3 points. So if you have a notepad, you may want to write these down. But this is what I have a lot to say about this. So when people ask the question, and I've asked this before too, right? How do you know how much value to give online and how do you know how much selling to do, right? And I think at the end of the day, this question is like, I don't want to be spammy. I don't just want to like be popping in someone's messenger inbox, selling them on like a $5,000 product when they don't know me, when there's no relationship built, right? And I'm all over that question. I think that's super important. Of course, we want to like build relationship and sell with heart, right? But here's the thing. A lot of times we're asking that question because we've had a bad experience with sales, right? Maybe someone sold us in a way that hasn't felt good. But I just want you to acknowledge for a second, even if you were to pop in someone's messenger inbox, right? Even if you were to do that same thing, I know you would do it in a different way. And I think this is important to bring up because I think sometimes we have this fear of, I don't want to sell in a way that I've been sold to, in a way that feels, no problem, Carola, have a good, yes, dinner time. That's right, I forget you're in a different time zone. We don't want to be sold to in a way that we've been sold to that feels off, right? And so we're like, I don't want to do that. So we associate the sales strategy with something being spammy, right? Where a lot of these sales strategies, like being on a sales call or selling someone in Messenger, is just a strategy, right? It's not a positive or negative. It's just a thing, right? It's kind of like people associate Facebook or Instagram with feeling overwhelming, right? It's just a platform, right? And so I think what I want you to do, number one, is I want you to take a little bit of the energy out of sales, right? It's just a thing. And so that's my first point. That's kind of a pre-point. Sorry, my phone keeps falling down. Okay, so what I want you to remember is selling is giving value. Could you believe that not just when you post value online, but when you sell online, maybe it's a sales post, maybe you're doing a Facebook Live where you're talking about one of your paid programs, maybe you're doing a sales email to your email list. Can you believe that in that process of you actually directly selling, that is of value too, right? So I think when people ask the question, how much should I give value and how much should I selling? They're not acknowledging that actually in the sales process itself, there can be some value, right? Let me give you some examples. Okay, so let's say you hop on a sales call with someone, you do the sales call, they end up deciding not to work with you. Do you believe that even in being on that sales call, that they got clarity, that they got direction, that they got breakthrough? Can there be value even in the sales process? I know for me, I believe that that's true. I think there's a ton of value in my sales process. I have had people literally hop on a sales call with me, not work with me, and then message me a few weeks later and say, oh my gosh, like I took something that you suggested and I signed some clients, right? I think that's beautiful, right? Likewise, maybe you send a sales email selling one of your programs and they don't end up buying from you, but they end up getting transformed. And how does this usually work is when we're selling our product, we're not just selling us, but usually we're selling them on a solution that works. For example, if you're a health coach, let's say you really feel like the vegan lifestyle is the way to go to get more healthy, right? To lose weight. As you're selling your vegan program, right? Your 6-week health coaching program, right? As you're selling them on that, even if they decide not to buy your program, you're selling them on becoming vegan. And if they become vegan with or without you, their life's going to be changed, right? I truly believe that. For example, the last launch that I did was on visibility, right? For my program, Visible Impact. So if you were a part of the content of that launch, you know that I sold you on a few things. not just my program. I sold you on the power of getting visible in one direction for 6 weeks. That's why my program is 6 weeks long, right? But even if you don't get my program, if you get sold on the fact that you need to get visible in your business for 6 weeks, that's a win, and you're going to see major results from that. Does that make sense? And so this is a part of my signature SPF method. I have a podcast on this that I can link to, but it's really remembering that in the sales process, you're not just talking about your product, but you're really selling them on your method, right? You're giving them permission. You're helping them take first steps. And so if you sell in a way that's heart-centered, you actually are giving value in your sales process. Okay, so that's point number one, really owning and acknowledging that selling is giving value, right? Should I give pure value without selling, or should I sell and give value? I think is a better question. I'm so sorry. I don't know. My phone is doing this. So that's point number one. Okay, I'm going to answer the question a little more directly too, right? So in the way that I teach, right, you should show up, do value, engage online, and then also have some more direct selling posts. So the question is, I think probably at least a third of the time you should be selling. Like, that's my direct answer, right? And then my more passive answer is, remember that even in the selling, you're giving value. Can you believe that your selling can give value? Okay, point number two that I want to make is you should actually be always selling something, although you may not be always selling something that's paid. Okay, what do I mean by that, right? When you tell someone, let's say you're speaking in front of someone's audience and you're like, hey, come follow me on Instagram. Hey, come join my Facebook group. Hey, sign up for my email newsletter, right? You're selling something. It's free, right? But you still have to communicate the value of that thing. Right? And so I think sometimes we forget that we're always selling something. It's a business, right? And owning that without guilt. And so I think it's like, yes, we don't always want to be selling something paid, especially we need to be mindful of where we're speaking, right? If you're speaking to a cold audience, like guest speaking in someone's audience, again, you probably aren't going to be talking about your $5,000 coaching program, right? You're probably going to be talking about the value and the transformation of all the nuggets you give on your podcast, right? Of all the nuggets you do in your newsletter, right? What is that free space? And what I would love for you guys to do, feel free to drop in the comments, where is that free space that you need to work on selling people on? What is that for you? Is it a social media platform? Is it your email list? Are you clear on that? Get really clear on what is that free thing you need to sell people on, especially if they're a cold audience member. If you've never met them before, right? And that's why it's so helpful to know your relationship path, because then again, you really can sell someone on each step of the process. And I think where it starts to feel offer spammy is when we're selling someone too soon on our big thing, right? But I think what happens is we shy back. We don't want to sell too soon, so we sell too late, right? And as soon as someone meets you, I want to know what's that free thing you're selling them on. Would you tell me that, right? As soon as someone gets to know you, if they're looking for help in the area that you offer, what are you selling them on the value of? Is it your podcast? Hi, Joanna. So fun to have you on here. I know, sorry, my phone was like wobbling around. What is that first thing that you are selling them on, right? Can you get really clear on that? And then, of course, the free thing should align with the paid thing, right? So if you are selling them on, hey, subscribe to my podcast, ideally in your podcast, you're talking about your paid stuff, right? If you're selling them on, hey, hop on this free call with me, ideally in the free call, if it's a fit, you're sharing your paid work with them, right? That's like how the funnel works. If you missed the episode, What the Funnel, catch the episode with the funnel, because I talk more about that path. Okay, so that's point number two. Remember, you're always selling something. It just may not be something paid, but I think that's so key. Joanna, let me know the free thing, and it might be multiple free things. I can let you know for my business, what are the free things I sell people on? I sell people on the power of joining my free Facebook group. This is what I say about it, right? So let me give you an example in case you're like, well, what's the value? Like, what's the point? For me, I say you can meet your newest biz bestie. You can connect. You can grow your business and meet potential clients. You can share about your business in there. You can get free live training from me, right? And so again, as if it's a paid program, really talking about and selling that value, I think is so key, like getting better and better at that. So I sell people on subscribing to my podcast. I sell people on joining my Facebook group, are really the biggest ones, because those ones also lead to my email list and stuff like that. Okay, my loves. Okay, so that's point number two. You're always selling something, right? Point number one is selling can you believe that as you sell, you're giving value too? Point number 2 is you're always selling something. Point number 3 is you're better at selling than you think. Most women, when they come to me, a lot of the reason why they're shying back from sales, again, is they feel like they suck at sales. I certainly felt like I stunk at sales at the start of my business, right? But I think that's because we don't know what sales, we've had bad experiences with sales and we don't know what sales is. And I'm just going to tell you what it is right now. Okay, I'm going to tell you what sales is. At its core, sales is relationship building. If you've watched my sales masterclass, you know that I believe on good sales is built on listening, leading, and coaching, right? Things that you probably are already good at. And so I think too, when we start to learn how to sell in a way that feels really in alignment and really good, right? Our confidence increases. What happens when we're more confident? We're more relaxed. What happens when we're more relaxed? More of our heart and authenticity comes through. We're able to actually connect and listen. And those are the things that actually make the sales easier, right? And so I really fully believe, yes, Joanne, I love that little emoji you dropped. Selling is not a dirty word. It's really not. Right? And again, the reason why I encourage my clients to use the word invite to your paid programs if selling feels off is again, because selling is not a bad word, but we may have had a bad experience with the word selling. And so we're associating it with like negativity. We're really selling is just like a neutral word. It's not positive or negative. It just is, right? Okay. One more podcast recommendation too. If you're struggling with the word selling and that feeling of selling, check out the episode I did on word swaps. I talk about like word swaps in the industry that I changed. For example, instead of saying selling, saying inviting, instead of saying lead or prospect. Well, I hate the word prospect. Using the word pre-client, right? So I talk about 7 different word swaps that I use, and selling is one of the huge ones that I think that you can do. So good. Joanna says, I think that is it, the alignment. Yes. And so I think really, changing the language if that helps you, calling it inviting, but also realizing, hey, I'm better at selling than I think, right? I know how to be a good listener, right? And if you've had been on the receiving end of sales before, you know that it feels really good when people listen to you. And so that's why that's so important to do. But really remembering that maybe I'm better at selling than I think. Maybe I'm good at building relationship. I'm really good at connecting with people and caring about people and listening to people. If you're good at those things, then you're good at selling, right? It's just a matter of tweaking it and finding the way that fits with you. And 2 things that you can do to improve in this area if you're feeling like, well, am I really, Anna? Like, am I really good at selling? I'm not sure. Here's 2 things. You can work on owning your value, right? Really owning the value you bring to the table, the value of your product, and then also being sold on that, right? And really committed to and convinced of the value that you're bringing in that. Again, whether it's a free thing or a paid thing. So, okay, beautiful. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but those are my main 3 points. I am so pumped because in 4 days, we are doing the Sell with Your Sell challenge. And so the reason I'm doing this training is I need you to really get geared into this mindset, because you know I'm all about getting visible and giving value and doing value-based content, blah, blah, blah. But also I want to, especially if you're at the point where you have been giving value online, it's time to step into phase 2. And if that's you and you're like, dang it, that's me. Like, I just need you to own it below. Like, I'm ready to sell. It's time to sell. I've been giving online. I've been showing up and been giving value. And now it's time to receive back, right? I'm ready. And I know for a lot of women that can be hard. It's harder to receive than it is to give and to help and to serve. And I always lecture my group clients and I say, okay, you're going to do great cheering the other group members on. But what I need you to do in this group is be a little selfish and be able to say when you need help and to be able to speak up and to be able to receive, right? A lot of people say they're ready to receive sales and money, but they're not asking for the sale, right? They're not asking directly. So that's what I want to help you do next week in the challenge. And I'm so thrilled to help you do that. Again, you can register at annafranzen.com/sellwithyoursell. And I'm going to be going live every day next week at noon PST and giving you a simple action and support around this. I'm so sorry. My phone is just slipping. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, I'm going to say those 3 sales truths one more time. Selling is giving value. You're always selling. something, and you're better at selling than you think. Go ahead and drop your name in this thread too if for the challenge next week you want an accountability partner and I can pair you guys up. But I'm just thrilled to support you. Joanna, thank you so much for Joanna says you're talking to me, right? I wish someone gave me that pep talk about like 2 months into my business, right? This is what I wish someone would have said, and this goes out to some of you that need this, right? I love that you're showing up, Anna, online. I love that you're giving value. I love that you're getting visible. I love that you have a heart to serve. But here's the real talk, right? At the end of the day, if you want to be able to keep serving and giving value, you've got to make 6 figures in your business. And I know, Anna, that sounds crazy to you because you're a therapist and you just want to give and help people and blah, blah, blah. And also your money comes from a paycheck, so you have no clue that 30% of the money you get in your business is going to go to taxes. You have no clue that in order to make a full-time living on part-time hours, you've got to hire 2 team members, right? Building a business costs money. And the only way you're going to get to 6 figures, Anna, again, I'm talking to myself, is by selling and by owning that and embracing it and by finding a way that feels good to do it. Okay, Anna? And all of you that need to hear that, right? I just wish someone would have sat down and told me that, because I think I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to make money, but I wonder if I can figure out a way to make money and not sell. Like, can I skip that part? Instead of just realizing I need to find a way to sell that feels good to me and in alignment to me, right? That's what we're going to do next week. I also have, for those of you that have been asking, the next round of my program, Sell with Heart. It's a 6-month mentorship program, starts in January. And so make sure you join the waitlist for that. It doesn't start till January, but spaces are already filling for that. So make sure that you join the wait list if you're interested. And I can send you details. I'm just finishing up the PDF for that. But go ahead and message me if you're interested in working with me long-term on sales. I would love to have you in that January cohort. And either way, you can toe dip your way in with me in the challenge next week. So again, join me, make sure you sign up, and then every day next week at noon PST, I'll be going live to support you, because yes, you need to sell, but also you don't have to do it alone. You can get support in doing this, okay? Thank you for hanging out. And again, if any of you guys have questions, just go ahead and drop them and I will be back to answer them. Okay, have a great rest of your day.